Ladies, what's the weirdest fetish a guy has dropped on you all of a sudden with little to no warning? Were you with it or against it? Several years ago I was just talking to this guy on OkCupid, we hadn't even met yet, and he asked me if I'd be okay with erotic hypnosis. I was like, what? And he sends me a book. However, then he tells me that his last girlfriend and he had gotten into this elaborate fantasy roleplay and somehow decided that they were actually hypnotizing each other, and one night she convinced him she was not real and left him sobbing in a corner. And he wanted to keep doing that. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. I just recently broke my hand and it's currently in a cast. I posted a photo of me in the cast on my knitting business Instagram, small following, almost all women. I got the normal likes from people I interact with, but some weird likes and new follows from guys as well. One commented asking how bad the break was. I got messages like, how did you injure yourself? And how many fingers are in the cast? And can I sign the cast? I pulled up a couple profiles to see what sort of accounts these guys follow, and yep. Lots of casts. Hashtag X200B, that's the day I learned that cast fetishes are a thing. That's also the day I learned to be very careful with my hashtags. Hashtag X200B, Ada, although you've all given me great ideas, the hashtags I used were not so creative. In fact, I went back and checked and the only cast-related hashtag I used was hashtag brokenhand. Not even anything about the cast itself. Guy told me he likes tall women. Really tall women. Wanted me to dress up and play at being a giantess. We were halfway through our first cup of coffee. Not me, but friend told me a story about one of her Tinder dates. Fairly boring, non-sexual first date convo. She gets up to go to the bathroom, and as soon as she sits back down, dude is like, so how do you feel about pee play? Like, would you pee on me? I guess her going to the bathroom was enough of a segue for this guy. I see you're a fellow fan of peeing. Speaking of urination. One guy wanted me to berate his small penis and tell him how worthless it was. I didn't want to do it, because I have mad penis respect, but I did because I also believe in embracing your kinks. You little pecker. You're worthless. Always showing up late, quit taking your night classes, can barely pay rent. You're nothing. Edit, my GF happens to share the fetish, I think. This was the anniversary card she made me earlier this month. Oh man, I didn't know he was taking night classes. Now I feel really bad. Guy here, but this one confused the crap out of me. I started dating this girl and at first things were normal, but she started picking fights with me and then having angry sex. It got to the point that she literally refused to have sex without a loud shouting match first. It was really hard to break up with her because when I told we were through she thought it was foreplay. Eventually I had to just ghost her. It was really hard to break up with her because when I told her we were through she thought it was foreplay. Oh my god, lol. The way I pictured you saying this in a matter-of-fact and serious tone just made audibly laugh. I'm picturing her turned on getting all handsy with Op telling him to keep going while Op is just like, no you don't understand, I'm serious. Not me, but a friend of mine was talking to this guy who said, before we go any further, I need to come clean about something. Please don't think I'm strange. I've got a really weird fetish. Instantly we think it's gonna be something extreme, maybe involving bodily fluids. I don't want to kink shame, but just something downright gross. He says, I need to be wearing a fleece? Patagonia was his preference. It's like, innocent compared to the ones in this thread, but just bizarre. Ah yeah baby, take me in your Subaru and tell me about your rock climbing trip. Knife stuff. No warning at all. I knew he was kinky and slightly weird, but not, like, dangerously weird until he was having difficulty reaching orgasm. I said something along the lines of, how can I help you finish, and he slides a fake magician's knife out of the nightstand next to him and said he had a stabbing fetish. Wanted me to pretend to be murdered by him. It was a nuclear red flag, but there I was, he's already inside me, so I'm like, whatever, I'll go along with this. He came, I left. The next day my abdomen was totally beat the duck up. Bruises all over my torso and chest from him jamming a stupid plastic knife into me. It opened my eyes to how sexual stabbing scenes are in horror films, as he explained that's where the fetish began, from growing up watching shit like Halloween. Never again though, shudders. I grew up watching horror movies and it gave me a not wanting to be stabbed fetish. Sounds like we have the same fetish. Yeah baby, you make me so hot when you do that. What? Not stab me. HNNNGG, I'm literally just sitting next to you on the couch. My best friend told me about how she had been dating this guy for a few months and they took a camping trip together. They were having sex in the tent and he puts his forearm down on her neck and starts cutting off her air supply. She freaked and thought he was going to kill her, to later find out he had a choking fetish he never told her about. Edit. Since more than one person has asked, no, the relationship did not last. So there's breaking out the surprise choking fetish, and there's breaking out the surprise choking fetish in the middle of the woods where there's no one around. I had a friend who told me some Tinder dude brought a backpack of fetish gear to their first date. And was surprised that she found it weird. I have to have my tools. It's fetish shit I like to bind and be bound. 5-star comments all around. He was into blood play and wanted to make little cuts all over my body with a really pretty knife. Yeah, no thanks. Why didn't he just wait for your period? Your monthlies and a chalice, and we got a good time. Ducking Christ, I imagined a diva cup with a wine stem attached to the bottom. Edit. Hey, thanks for the upvotes, I'm happy I made y'all's day a little bit grosser. Edit 2. This and a remark about Neopets are now my top 2 comments and the contrast is hysterical to me, thank you so much. My boyfriend likes people to watch him pee. Not peeing on people or things, just peeing in the toilet normally. It's weird, but honestly I'm into weirder. Exhibitionism combined with water sports in a neat and non-messy way. Sounds like a lucky result for that combination if you're not into them. Hashtag X200B, edit, gold on my cake day. I totally agree. I'm not into water sports, but this I can do no problem. It makes him happy and what makes him happy generally makes me happy, so it works. That's a lot of wholesome in the strangest way possible. Welcome to the healthy part of the kink community. I have been dating this man for 2 years that I met on POF. About 6 months in, he told me he had a balloon fetish. He said he had been jacking off with them since he was a teen, and his fantasy was to have actual sex on one. He said he had always been afraid to tell anyone, but he sensed that I would be the type of person who wouldn't run away. At first I was like but then I was like duck it, what's the harm in trying something new? So he brings out this huge 6-foot-long balloon that he has to blow up with an air pump. The thing is huge, and he tells me he owns a ton of them, all shapes and sizes. At first it was weird trying to straddle that humongous balloon and leaning over it so he could fuck me doggy style on it, all the while being terrified that it was going to pop in my face at any given moment. But I got used to it and we do it often. It has popped in my face quite a few times and we both get a good laugh. I figure if it makes him happy then why not? Also, if anybody has any suggestions on new things to try with the balloons, let me know. You know, this one isn't bad at all. No bestiality, no scatwater works, just different. Seems like it could be fun, you could use bigger balloons as support and such. My first partner was very experienced and knew what he wanted. Early into our physical relationship, he told me that he wanted me to slap him and tell him how he was a bad person. It was difficult for me to get on board with that. I'm a very nice person. What could I even say? I bet you don't recycle. You scumbag. You leave your shopping cart right in the middle of the parking lot, don't you? Don't you? I once met a guy on Tinder who, out of nowhere, asked me if I could duck his dog while he watched. I was very, very against it. There was one guy who was really into having a free household. Meaning, I guess, sex nudity in front of the children. He was kind of vague about what he was suggesting, so I kept on trying to steer things back into the realm of sanity. Be all, yeah, sexy times, nakedness, once the kids are in bed. But then he went into this elaborate fantasy about me showering with our teenage daughter, not actually ours. This was still in the realm of fantasy. I was like, wait, you're actually getting off on the idea of the kids being involved, or at least witnessing all of this? He was like, yeah. I was like, I'm out. I don't have a ton of limits, but kids is one. He also kept calling me mommy, even after I asked him to stop. I actually have a child who is still young enough to call me mommy. If there is one guaranteed way to turn me off, that would be it. If I recall, he also referred to his dick as his duck stick. That would be a hard no. That is ducked up on so many levels. He wanted to do some scene where we order a pizza. I accept the delivery. Naked explained to the kids, we ordered a pizza for dinner because mommy is too much of a horny slut to cook tonight. Like, just no, dude. I even tried to reason with him. Was like, I just have a hard time understanding what's erotic about inflicting lifelong trauma on children, but apparently inflicting lifelong trauma on children was the draw for him. I resent the implication that horny sluts can't cook. No. It's not that she can't cook, it's that she's so hungry for cock she doesn't have the time to cook. All of her time is filled with ducking. Well, that's just poor time management. Which is probably somebody's kink. Oh shit, baby, you didn't file your taxes before the deadline? That's so hot.